Thank you, Isabel. What you and your staff have done continues to be acts of heroism. It's heroic. The care you provide makes it possible for parents to work knowing that their children are safe and that they're loved. It's an incredible gift that you give. So thank you, and to all the child care providers. So today we are announcing the single largest investment in child care in our nation's history. The single largest investment in child care in our nation's history. This investment is part of the American Rescue Plan, which the President signed into law just over 1 month ago. And before I talk about this investment, the President has asked me to update you on the implementation of the plan. As you know, it was very important to the President and me that the relief we delivered would be felt immediately and tangibly by the American people. And under the leadership of Gene Sperling, it is. As of yesterday, 159 million checks have gone out. By the time all of the money is distributed, more than 85% of American households will have received a check. At the same time, the $20 billion in funding for vaccine administration and distribution has been put to work. And it's helping us to increase confidence, to reach our hardest hit communities, and expand access through federally supported community vaccination centers, mass vaccination sites, and mobile vaccination units. We're now administering an average of over 3 million shots a day, over 20 million shots a week. To safely reopen our nation's schools, $81 billion has been sent out to the states to help schools get back to in-person instruction and address the learning, social, and emotional needs of our students. And there are millions of Americans who lost their jobs due to no fault of their own and are receiving unemployment insurance through programs that would not exist without the American Rescue Plan. The American Rescue Plan is also making health care more affordable by reducing the cost of coverage for 9 million people who are currently receiving financial assistance. At the Department of Housing and Urban Development, Secretary Marcia Fudge announced that nearly $5 billion has been allocated to provide services to people who are experiencing or are at risk of homelessness and to help communities create more permanent, affordable housing solutions. The Department of Agriculture has been using funds to help 12 million families with children who are food insecure, reimbursing families who are now buying food that their children would have received in school. The list goes on, and the message is clear. Help is here. Hope is here. And we've already seen what happens when you help those who are hurting the most, when you build an economy from the bottom up and the middle out. We have created more new jobs in these first 2 months than any administration in history. And things are looking up, to be sure, but we also have a lot more work to do. We need to defeat this virus, get American workers back on the job, and lift up American families. And so that brings me to today's announcement. Because when it comes to child care in our country, families need help. Even before the pandemic, child care cost too much, and it was too hard to find and for too many families outside of their reach. The pandemic has accelerated the flaws and the fissures in our systems. Nearly half of parents say their current child care situation is unsustainable. For providers, child care costs are up, with new expenses like PPE, more cleaning supplies, and everything else that providers need to keep children safe. At the same time, revenues are down, with fewer kids enrolled. These are small businesses and nonprofits with thin margins to begin with. According to one survey, 1 in 4 child care centers that was open at the start of the pandemic is now closed. When child care centers go out of business, 4 things happen. 1, a small business owner, most likely a woman, loses everything. 2, child care workers, again, most likely women, women of color, they lose their jobs. There are 164,000 fewer child care jobs now than there were last year. Number 3, without consistent, affordable child care, parents, mostly mothers, are not able to go back to work. In fact, about 2 million women have been forced to leave the workforce, many due to child care challenges. And number 4, children lose the safe, nurturing, learning environment that they need to grow. The strength of our country, the resilience of our economy, depends on the affordability and availability of child care.